Got it. Can you say no to something?
Right, signing stuff, that's what we want to do. Oops, there you go, look at that. Hey, I'll thank you.
It's very bomb. I watched them all.
Fantastic.
I've been waiting for you to Robert, can you send me photo pictures, guys? It's developing. I just took a picture of you.
Thanks, son. Right.
Please, no more pictures, I'm sorry.
Are you leaving after panel?
Yeah, I know. I have the Sharpie for you. You can find a picture.
Oh yeah, do you want me to do that for you?
Yeah, please.
Are you guys leaving after the panel or are you going to stay the night?
I am sadly not staying the night. Some of us are though, I think.
But you'll be in LA for the premiere.
Yes.
We'll see you
there. Oh, I'm smudging it.
Thank you.
It's ready, it's ready. Okay, yeah.
I'm ready.
No more pictures, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Robert! Robert!
Sorry,
These fucking girls are crazy.
Marriage proposals and love, like, and Robbie writes in my book, "What's up, broccoli?" I'm like, what the fuck is "What's up, broccoli" when everyone else is getting marriage proposals?
What's up, broccoli?
Yeah, that's what you wrote in my book.
What's that mean?
Well, you wrote it.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to think of what could have possibly been going through my mind when I wrote that. What's up, broccoli? Listen, you know what? It was probably the first random, meaningless thing that came into my head.
Then I will treasure it forever.
Yeah.
Yours is special.
Tell us here, come here, what's this?
Your production notes.
It's a little bio. Do you mind if I read a bit?
Go ahead.
Let's have a dramatic reading of your bio.
This role saw Robert nominated for several awards, including BAFTA, TV Award, and Best Supporting Actor. Bullshit! Best Actor it should have been. An IFTA for Best Supporting Actor. And a Golden Nymph Award for Outstanding Actor. That sounds like a porn award.
You totally don't mind it. I just don't want to transcribe this later. You don't mind me videoing this, do you?
Yeah.
There's no way this would translate in text.
But this, you just stick it up on the fan site,
Yeah, exactly.
Robert provided the voice of Ray in the animated film A Turtle's Tale, Sammy's Adventures. Which is very true.
You wait until somebody gifts this, okay?
Somebody what?
Gifts it?
Yep. The animated little clips that you find. Have you ever been on Tumblr?
No.
You should go on Tumblr. You should make a Tumblr.
There's a lot of there's a Tumblr
People
all about you.
People are tumbling all over the place.
Tumbling all over the place.
There's pictures of you everywhere.
Have you gotten to do
Naked pictures.
anything at
I don't know.
Comic-Con other than like press stuff? Have you gotten to go out and like obviously take pictures of people?
No, it's been very rock and roll. We arrived in on a private jet. I just broke my private jet cherry, basically popped it, and then we've come straight from the private jet. We came straight in. We did like live on camera interviews as a big group. 5 or 6 show-offs all stood together, all shouting. This is ask us a question. Ask me a question. No, I have to fly straight back because I'm filming tonight.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
If you got to go to any panel, if you could go to any panel here, what would you want to go to? There's
Spider-Man. There's what else is actually on? I have no idea.
The Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what a good one to go to would be World's End because
Just around the corner. We should go crush it.
Let's go, the three of us now. Come on, it'll be part of the interview.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the 3 of us.
When you found out that you were going to play Simon, did you have any reservations, or were you just really, really excited?
You know, I like to go to restaurants that you don't need a reservation, so I didn't have any reservations, you know, as regards in the culinary sense. That's why they pay me the mediocre dollars. I did have reservations, I suppose, because with a very popular book series comes a lot of heady anticipation and a lot of expectation. And of course, you know, if you can't please 100% of die-hard book fans, because, you know, a book by its very nature encourages the reader to create the world and see the faces of the characters very much from within their own mind. Whereas a film adaptation, which of course, exactly, this is your specialty, this is your field. Film adaptation, you know, creates the world for you and gives it to you, presents it to you. These are all the details, these are the nooks and crannies. So, you know, in order to become a face that thousands and thousands of people have you know, had in their heads in varying different forms, it's a strange thing.
Have you experienced the huge magnitude of the Mortal Instruments fans on Twitter and everything? Because they're pretty insane.
No, I'm very kind of, I'm very like not socially kind of media friendly. You know what I mean? I kind of
You shy away from it and get nervous.
It's not so much the nerves; it's more laziness. It's more laziness. You know, it's more. Basically, it feels like a job having to go on to Facebook and things. It just, I rather, you know, speak to people via the mouth, like we're doing now.
That's more fun.
Much more old-fashioned. Call me a troglodyte.
Are you excited to work with Jemima when your relationship becomes more romantic?
Absolutely. Who wouldn't be? She's a hot French piece. Good God, what red-blooded man wouldn't be delighted to get all amorous with her, on screen or off screen, in fact.
Some really hilarious lines from your character. We saw the one where you were like, "You're hanging out with a fake blonde-dyed weirdo." And stuff.
I've seen that bit, yeah.
Yeah, we saw that bit in the trailer. Is there a favorite line you have, and could you say it to the camera?
Spoiler alert. Trying to think of any good lines in there. There's one where I say to Jace after he introduces himself, I go, "Simon Lewis, Keymaster, are you the gatekeeper?" And that's like, it's kind of, at this stage, quite an obscure reference to Ghostbusters, right? But what's good about the film is that it doesn't then go, "Simon, stop talking about Ghostbusters." You know, it doesn't mention Ghostbusters. So it was really nice because, you know, those of you who get the reference, great, and those of you who don't, well, you know, that's a shame.
So
it's also quite sarky and sardonic, you know, which is, you know, it's just Simon all over. I've got a friend called Simon Lewis who's actually a book writer and a script writer. And I'm going to do a film with him, which he's writing. And it's really weird, because I met him recently, and his name is Simon Lewis.
Crazy coincidences.
It certainly is. It certainly is.
Let's see. So what are you looking forward to the most after the film comes out for fans to see? Like, which scene in the film?
There's, I'm trying to think of really, like, big... Do you know what was quite a good one? There's a bit where... the film is kind of coming to a big climax, and then the werewolves are one of the intervening forces, and basically there's this kind of strange underground section of the film where it almost becomes like a horror movie, and we're kind of all walking through these subterranean tunnels, and it's really, really eerie and atmospheric and strange, and people are getting picked off left, right and centre, and it's kind of really, really, really heightens the tension just before the big climactic bit. And that bit was kind of both, you know, fun to do and kind of scary all at the same time.
When you read the book, was there a scene that popped out for you that you were like, "Oh, I want to film that scene. That'll be an awesome scene to do"?
I like all the actual acting stuff when it comes to that. You know, it's when the characters actually really start speaking to each other on a script. That's when it becomes the most interesting for me, because the rest of the stuff is like, you know, demon comes out of the shadows and goes flying across the thing, and then the other person smashes him with a sword, and you know, that's all well and good and fine and takes a long time to film, but it's not really why they bring in actors, you know. So it's the stuff like, I like all of the stuff where myself and Lily's character Clary are starting to realise that our friendship may be coming to an end, you know, because I'm harbouring, you know, secret feelings of love for her.
You talk about filming the scene where we basically professed your love to her, and it's all very heartbreaking.
Yeah, have you seen the film? Have you?
No, I have not seen the film. I went on set a year ago, but I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was really good because again, it was kind of when the kind of arc of their relationship really kind of crystallizes, and you get this you know all of Simon's feelings, these intensive feelings of jealousy and you know basically like love come to the forefront, and eventually he just has to put his hand to the fire and proclaim his love for her. It was great. I love doing all that stuff. I really love, I love stretching the old actoring muscles every now and again. Keep reading books.
Books are awesome.
Books are awesome. Books are a far more gratifying piece of art than a film is. But you can then go see the film after you've read the book, right? So read The Mortal Instruments, you bunch of thicks. Look at you with the runes on your arms. You're gorgeous.
She has the costume.
That's lovely. Oh yeah, you're Isabel. That's lovely. I just had tea delivered. Yeah, Simon and Isabel have a little thing later on in the films. Can I have your number? Yeah, sweet. Success. Okay, let's wrap this up.
Are you excited to film those scenes with Jemima and like develop that?
By the mouth, yeah. Sorry, this is a whole different dialogue going on. This interview. Hello. How are you? How are you doing? Good. Come over here. Come over. Join the interview. Join the interview. I don't know, just because you look nice and you have a nice energy about you.
Soy mexicana.
Say hello to this camera. It's for page to premiere.
Hola, soy de Mexico. I'm a mother of four. And
You're gorgeous, you are.
Thank you so much. I'm 50. So I'm really happy to be here with the two beautiful creatures. You are who?
I'm Robert, and that's what's your first name again?
Kimmy.
Kimmy, yeah.
You look like one of my sons.
Oh yeah.
You're very cute.
Oh, that's very lovely. Thank you very much.
From where? London?
I'm from Ireland originally, but I live in London. Yeah.
Cool.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I have like 2 days with my daughter. She's working for a very big company. It's called Utah's. It's an airplane, big, huge company, and she's the one paying for it. I was here.
Nice.
Yeah, she's 24.
I have a couple of days in
How
San
old are
Diego.
you?
I'm 25.
Good.
Do you want to introduce us?
Yes. Why not?
Fantastic.
She's also in the Televisa. You know what Televisa is? In Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh cool.
The big things. Yes. Why
Lovely.
not? You an agent or someone? Really?
Your next ex-boyfriend? Good God, ladies, calm down.
If somebody have your everything, your addresses, or you can put it here because I don't know how these things work.
I'll give you my email.
Okay, but put it in notes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Girls, you're so lovely too. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's great.
Oh, it's because
This is all.
I'm not sure how much time we have, but it's fine.
This is all part of the interview.
That's okay. That's okay. No, these guys are.
I'm a Mexican lady that was like, I don't know what is happening, but I'm happy. Catalina.
Okay.
Nice meeting you.
This is great. Here you go. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Okay.
Keep all that in.
No, I should. I feel like everyone will be very entertained by that. I don't know if they can hear it though, because the microphone was like over here. I was like,
This man just gave my email to a Mexican lady.
oh my gosh. Okay.
Cheers.
Yeah, and now it's tea time. In our interview. Any messages? Yeah.
The strange Mexican ladies.
Yeah, and talking to strange Mexican ladies is entertaining. That's like
She was quite an interesting lady, though, wasn't she? She had a very strange energy about her.
no, she did. I was intrigued.
Yeah. So anyway, we were saying.
Let's get down to business, shall we?
Yeah, indeed.
So, creep it on Kevin. Looks very intense.
Yeah. Sorry, carrying on, yes.
Okay, so what scene are you most excited for audiences to see in City of Bones?
I think me shirtless is the main thing that I'm excited for people to see. Just finally see, you know, the pinnacle of God's creation, you know? Just all of this. It's just like the statue of David realized.
You have no idea how much they want to see that.
Of course, that is irony, that I'm being very ironic there, you see. I don't mean it. I think one of the... excited for audience to see, you know, all of the visual effects and the action stuff is one thing, and it's very gripping and engaging, incredible. But that's not really my bag, you know. I really like when the humans have to talk to each other. You know what I mean? That's when I really get excited. when you know, characters speak and their relationship furthers somewhat, or it goes in a certain direction, or it gets to a fork in the road. So I really like the. I've seen the film very recently, and I really like the relationship that Simon and Clary have, and where it goes, and then basically when Jamie's character Jace comes in and completely upsets the dynamic. You know, it's funny. You know, it's funny because I didn't realize it at the time, but seeing the film, Simon is more kind of. He's kind of more unsettled by the fact that she's seeing an attractive guy than they're being dragged into this huge supernatural world. That's less unsettling to him than the fact that she's seen someone that she's attracted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's just like having to deal with this guy now, and you know, swooping in and taking his woman, basically.
So in the next movie, Simon's getting a little action there with Clary.
Very possible.
Excited to be kissing Lily in the sequel.
Got my little ready. Look at that. I've been practicing.
Simon
on my
needs some
hand.
love too. Get ready, Lily.
See, I almost tried to get my fist into my mouth there. I've tried in the past and I can't do it. So I'm not going to try now.
So what was the most challenging aspect of filming this movie, filming City of Bones?
To be honest, there wasn't a huge amount of challenges for me. I was very much at the back of the group, cowering like a little girl, being guarded by the women, basically, who had all the weapons. Jemima and Lily, who'd done some badass fight training. I was stood behind them with no shirt on, going.
Such a difficult job.
A little nerdlinger who'd lost his glasses. Or like the last man on earth, right, with a whole library of books. And the glasses fall off his face and smash, and he goes, but there were so many books left to read. That's me, basically, especially at the Hotel du Mort. But that was quite challenging. Hotel du Mort was quite challenging because we were in an abandoned hotel, and that hotel had been abandoned for probably over 10 years, and had probably accumulated some fairly fatal algae and fungus on the walls. You know,
that sounds safe.
We were in there for people were walking around with those masks on.
Of course.
You know, of course, we didn't have them because we're on camera. So people were like walking around. Going, do we need those? Do we need those gas masks? Are we going to die? So that was quite nice. And the more action we did in there, the more we unsettled the dust on the floor. So just after a few days, we were just walking around in these clouds of dust, going, I just want some air. But these are the woes of filmmaking, absolutely. You know, the physical world is not always a comfortable place.
In the books, there's a whole bunch of humor. How is that translated on the screen?
Hopefully, you know, went from English to English, so the translation was fairly straightforward. But no, you'd think it translated well, you know, because. There's a lot at stake in this film, so characters are taking stuff very, very seriously. But that's when comedy tends to arise. You know, that's where comedy tends to come from. Is when, you know, all the serious needs is just the tension needs to be broken with a little bit of comedy. So. It's nice. I mean, it comes out of the very human relationships that exist at the center of this great, big, epic, gothic, crazy world. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's nice. You know, especially my character. My character is really funny.
Yeah, he is. And his interactions with Jace. What can we expect from those?
What's that?
What can we expect of this banter between him and Jace?
Yeah, it's nice again because he doesn't take my character at all seriously, and I'm taking his character too seriously. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere in there's a whole lot of comedy.
What is the one trait about Simon that you admire?
Well, he carries what is a very effeminate bag, but he doesn't mind because he's quite sure of his masculinity, so he doesn't mind carrying a man bag. Because a lot of people say the man bags are quite homosexual, but I say it's only the most heterosexual men that get away with it.
Such a hipster.
I know. Yeah, he also has a mustache that curls up like this, and socks with sandals.
Nice.
It's in fine hipster style.
What is the one scene in City of Ashes that you're most looking forward to filming?
You know what? It has to be. It has to be the resurrection, man. It has to be that.
It's gonna be intense.
Because that's gonna be all the way out there. You know, kind of horrendously horror, but you know, because that's when the character of Simon is absolutely gone. You know, for that pocket, and he's something else. And then I think he'll probably warm up again. You know, the glimmers of Simon will come back after that. But at that point, he's completely vampire or nothing. Simon, and plus it's going to be really cool. Probably going to be in a graveyard. Oh.
Such an intense sequence.
Yeah, I'm like the resurrection man. I come back in loads of stuff. I did a film when I was 18 called Summer of the Flying Saucer, right? Absolutely no word of a lie. I can't believe it didn't hit Comic-Con massively, right? But I got shot dead in that and came back to life. Got brought back to life by aliens.
You're a pro.
And then came back to life in a show called Misfits. I came back to life in that several times. And then I came back to life in other stuff as well. I just can't remember. I don't really die in stuff, but if I do die, I come back. You know what I mean?
You're a pro at it.
Yeah.
It should be no problem.
It's awesome.
Is there any pressure when you're making a movie like this, knowing that there's a book with fans that are already out there?
Absolutely.
It's a tough one.
It is, yes, it's a tough one. And there is pressure, of course, because especially with a book like this, there's millions, literally millions of copies of this book sold, and therefore millions of fans and a lot of heady anticipation. But, you know, at the same time, I think, you know, an adaptation is so wildly different from the book itself, because in the book, when somebody reads a book, it's an incredibly personal experience. You know, somebody pours their imagination into the book and creates the world. You know, the book is a guideline for your own imagination, whereas the film is very much, it's the world presented to you, crystallized in one form.
So now I feel like I know you as a person a lot more than I did before this interview, but I want you to tell me about Simon, your character.
Yeah, Simon, yeah. He's much more a reserved, bookish type of a fella. And I had to hide my true personality to the various powers that be that are working on this film that had a hand in casting. You know,
yes.
I had to send tapings to them, and then basically the process was I sent a taping, they went, "No, stop being a show-off, do it better." And then I send another one, go, "Still wrong." And then progressively, I sent them tapings, and they went, "Okay, that might be suitably bookish. You can come for a screen test." And then I did that, and then that was what happened, basically.
Wow. I mean, this is an amazing project to be a part of. How excited were you when you finally booked that role?
I was terribly excited, right? It was mad, because I went to Toronto for a couple of days, right? And I made really good friends with this other fella who was also going for the part. And we went out on the tear after the screen test. And we rocked and rolled, basically. Now, sorry, teenagers, you can do this when you're 21.
Yes.
Not 18.
You got the age right, yeah.
You idiots. You can join the military when you're 18. You can kill a person with a gun, but you can't drink. Fantastic. But yeah, sorry. So I was on a plane back from Toronto back to London, and we were drinking like on the plane, and then duty free came past, so I bought a bottle of whiskey because they'd cut us off at this point.
Oh.
And then we started sneaking whiskey under the thing, right? And then they confiscated the bottle like an hour later. They found me with the bottle.
The empty bottle, obviously.
Yeah, it was about half empty, right? There was still a bit in there.
Wait, but when did you
And,
find out you got the role? I'm so confused.
No, but right, so anyway, so we got home. Then I
Okay.
got a phone call saying, you got the part. And I went, fantastic. So I was with a couple of friends of mine. So I said, let's have a whiskey to celebrate. And turned out the air hosts had salted the whiskey. They just spiked me. But apart from that, you know, it didn't sully the good news, even though they tried to.
So, for anyone who hasn't read the book series, a lot goes on with your character. What do you think is the biggest thing you have to overcome?
Well, basically...
In the first book turned movie.
Of course, yes, indeed.
No spoilers allowed.
The character, you know, in the film, it's made clear to the audience quicker than the book that Simon is harboring secret feelings of love, romantic, sexy love, not just platonic friend love.
Right.
For his best friend Clary, who Lily Collins plays, and so basically, I think the hardest thing for him in the film is to tell her because he goes through this whole period of being jealous because she's attracted to Jace, and he's kind of resenting her a little bit, and then he's kind of a sardonic, witty, kind of armors himself with wit kind of character. So when eventually he has to like tell her in the most genuine way, it's like putting his hand to the fire, you know. So that was quite an intense scene.
Yeah.
You know, I drank a lot of caffeine before that too.
Just to prepare.
Yep.
And one last thing, because I know you gotta go. One word to describe Comic-Con, and it can't be the word you used before.
Nerd mecca. That's technically 2 words.
There's a hyphen in there.
Yeah, there's a hyphen.
Nerd Mecca.
Yeah,
Done.
Nerd mecca.
Well, so nice to meet you. Congratulations on
You too, my love.
everything. Take
All
care.
the best. Fantastic. See you later.
How's it going? Likewise.
Yeah. Last time I saw you, you were interviewing Martin McDonagh and Sam Rockwell on stage.
Holy shit! I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Where were you?
I was in the throng that evening.
Oh my god.
I was actually in the front row.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see you. Maybe because you didn't have a huge sign or a massive spotlight on you or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And I'm sure you felt the pressure a little bit.
a little bit. Yeah. A little
yeah.
bit. There was a lot of people in that room.
There was a lot of people, and it was
Yeah.
up to you to keep it all going.
Yeah, and I think
From
I
two men who were
just
frankly
about
reluctant
managed.
to communicate.
You may say that.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
sure I should say that. But anyway, yeah. So that was a lot of people in that room, and you're about to go into this room, or you've been in Hall H, or you're about to go, or you've
the
been.
Hall H. It sounds like you know, it sounds like Judgment Day. Do you know what I mean? Going in front of the masses of nerds.
All 6,500 of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they David Morrissey. I was just talking to him. He was saying that they were kept behind a cage. they were like for one.
The actors
bit,
were.
Yeah. For one. Like discussion panel thing. I don't think it was the main Hall H thing, but I think it was like. But the Walking Dead cast were behind like chicken wire cage, and there was like hundreds of fans on the other side,
Just pressing against it, clawing at them.
Yeah.
Throwing beer bottles at the guy.
Zombieing away. Yeah.
Jesus. So you nervous about this, or you're a guy who takes things in his stride, right?
Yeah. You know, I tend to get really fidgety and show offy around all this. To be honest with you. The only thing that would worry me slightly is getting in front of a crowd of like 6,500 people is just don't say anything mad. Don't say anything too mad.
I couldn't help it.
There's going to be a lot of video evidence of that.
It's going to be a lot of stuff.
And to keep it somewhat, on a tangential way, and don't go too mental.
Do you have to be family friendly as well? Because I couldn't help but notice in the previous interview you were talking about helmets and ridges of helmets and whatnot.
What's wrong with that? It's Star Wars. Darth Vader. He had a big black helmet.
He did. It was there on display all the time.
That could breathe, bizarrely enough. It could breathe in and out. That's what's weirdest about it.
What a strange. It's a future, man.
It's like a little
distant past.
Amphibian helmet.
God bless him.
Yeah, indeed.
So I was talking about Jamie Campbell-Bower about this movie.
Yes.
What's wrong?
Neil.
Sod.
Who's that?
Superman 2.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Terrence Stamp.
Terrence Stamp. Wicked.
Yeah, the original and best. Sod.
Sorry,
it has to be
I
said.
keep derailing your interview, but wasn't he a handsome fellow as well?
He was an extraordinarily handsome fellow.
And still is.
Do you know he was living in a what's it called? He was not a bedstead. He was in India for like 2 years before he got this role, and he just stepped off the plane. He'd been enjoying lots of lady love with ladies.
Naturally,
Just stepped off the plane.
And walked straight into Superman.
And walked straight into Superman. There you
awesome.
go.
I saw that when I was a kid. It was awesome.
It is awesome.
Zod.
It is amazing. I'm getting the
Talk
sense though
about
you're not
spandex,
much of a geek slash nerd slash comic booky slash superhero-y type person.
Yeah, do you know what? That said though, we just did live television, right, about an hour ago, and they gave us like a geeky trivia quiz.
Right.
And I answered all the questions for us, pretty much. I answered all of them. They're like, one of them was, where's Thor from? It's like, Asgard.
That's just simple. That's beginners though.
I think it's because when I watch films, all of the useless trivia goes in and sticks, and all of the stuff that could be, you know, profound or meaningful in my life just tends to go in one ear and out the other.
Absolutely. Same with me. Same with me.
Yeah.
But I was talking with Jamie about this movie, and we can't decide whether to call it The Mortal Instruments or City of Bones or The Mortal Bones or The City of Instruments, or what exactly do you call it?
Well, I call my genitals the mortal instruments.
Not City of Bones?
Yeah. No, that's when me and a bunch of mates get together. Thank you. Yeah, I've been calling it the whole thing because I don't know what to call it. I've been adding all the words in their right order.
Of a mouthful. We arrived at Cobb.
Cobb. Doesn't that sound like an 80s detective show on the BBC? Cobb. Or like, you know, Touch of Frost.
Robert Sheehan is Cobb.
Cobb, yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
I'm trying to think, what's the other guy? The other one? Not Frost.
Morse.
Morse, yeah. That's the one.
There you go. But who do you play in Cobb?
In Cobb,
yeah.
I play an elderly detective who, in Midsummer. Oh no, sorry, that's John.
He's very good at solving crossword puzzles. And,
yes, indeed, yes. In Cobb, I play a young man who is the best friend of the main character, Clary Frey, who Lily Collins plays, and she finds herself being kind of drawn into this very magical world that exists in tandem with our world in New York, and I kind of go along for the crazy ride with her. And I think I'm holding on to her, you know, extra hard because I'm like her best friend, but who is secretly harboring feelings of love for her, and non-friend love, sexy love. I want her to be my love girlfriend, my lover.
Come into my City of Bones.
Exactly, yeah. Look, you went to his City of Bones, you never saw mine.
Yeah. Do you have a pining secretly for Lily Collins' sexy time face?
Of course. I mean, who doesn't? Crikey. Yeah. She's. Do you know what? In fairness to her, though. She. Right. I saw the film a couple of days ago, and she's honestly, man, she's like the heart and soul of the thing, you know. And you just, you know, she's absolutely that brilliant classical protagonist. You know, she's an absolute pro and incredibly talented. All joking aside, really and truly.
Grant. Well, Rob, cheers, man.
Good to see you, man.
Likewise.
See you back in the dark caverns of London. So.
Oh, who knows where I'll pop up next. Anyway, cheers, man.
Stage left. And the one and only Jace Wayland is the one and only Jamie Campbell Bower. Right over there. Please. Mortal Instruments, Cassandra Clare.
Cassie, you're here. Sorry. It's okay.
You guys, this will be great. Let's jump right into it. Lily, starting with you. One of the things I think that makes these books really resonate with readers is the fact that Clary is such a strong female character. How attractive was this role for you, you know, in the sense that you're playing someone who's not only being introduced to this new world, but she's sort of, in a very short manner of time, is really able to handle herself so well and acclimate herself to that world?
What I loved about Clary...
Hello!
Woo! Woo!
Woohoo! You are an arrogant bastard, sir.
Thank you very much.
Are an arrogant
Thank
bastard.
you so much.
Oh, your character.
This cockiness or this self-awareness, this self-assurance.
You have some experience in sort of supernatural projects. You're no stranger. This guy knows immortality.
I might take my shirt off. I might just take my shirt off.
That's right. You know immortality from the Misfits. So how does sort of the Downworlders here differ from the characters in that show?
God, well, I mean, in the characters in Misfits, when they all get cursed with these superpowers, they kind of the superpowers were more like extensions of their own insecurity, you know. So they came very much from within them, whereas the Downworlder characters are they're kind of part demon, part human. they're a mix of the two, and they've learned to live peacefully with people, and so they've. So yeah, so the superpowers and the demonic aspects of the characters in Mortal Instruments differ greatly. Yeah.
Kevin. We learn a lot about your character, Alec, throughout the books. A lot of stuff happens with him. A lot of good stuff, some not so good stuff. How much did you peek ahead and sort of see what happens later? And if you did peek ahead, because you're a big cheater, how did you either include...
Don't tell my wife.
They're allowed to read ahead, you know.
Yeah, you're allowed to read it, but how much do you sort of include or exclude that stuff, that what you know, when playing him for this movie? How
much do you think they'd be worth if we auction them off?
I think we could all go to Maui for, these to be.
They have not been washed.
All right, we have time for one more question, so let's go to it right there. Yes.
Hi, this is mainly for the Shadow Hunters, but for anyone, what ruin would you draw on yourself to enhance an ability or characteristic?
Good one. Cassian, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. What rune would I draw on myself? I wish there was a break faster rune, but there's not really. So I would go with Fearless. I think Fearless is a great rune. It allows you to do things that you would otherwise be afraid to try.
I would do the hit movie rune.
The $20 million a picture rune.
Where did it come up? Where did it come up? Just swag.
The guy's tattooed a rune on me. It just says, "I love you, Mom." I don't know what it does, but it's on there now.
You don't want to know what it does. Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Lily Collins, Cassandra Clare, Jamie Campbell. Thank you guys. Mortal Instruments first, I'm Dalton Ross. RoboCop, Amazing Spider-Man 2 coming up next. Have a great Comic-Con.
Woo!